Our work week weather forecast with Landon I led from the National Weather Service. Good morning, Landon.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing pretty good. A lot of people talking about that system that you had mentioned last week. So I guess we can start there and then just get everything else on. So what's the latest with that?
Yeah, there has not been much change with that system since a week ago when we first discussed it because that was in the long range models. Now it's starting to get its act together. We're going to see some motion beginning probably later today, tomorrow, and the next several days as it makes its way toward Yap and far western Micronesia. Let me turn my camera around right quick while you prep the slides, Jason. I think they should be in your email. This is the infrared satellite loop showing that broad area of showers and thunderstorms well to our south and southwest. That's Guam right there. This is Yap and Palau. So they're pretty much under the gun of these off and on scattered showers and thunderstorms, kind of in a lull right now. But you see this big cluster of showers and thunderstorms there. That's not the center of this low level circulation. That's been pinpointed by other satellite tools to be about 5 north, 144 east. That is moving slowly toward the northwest, eventually going to be coming near or in the vicinity of Yap by midweek. That's fairly certain right now as far as the progression over the next 48 to 72 hours. Beyond Wednesday, that's where the models start splitting in solutions, whether you want to go towards the west northwest and deeper into the Philippine Sea, or as some other models suggest, more of a northward track with more aggressive intensification of this system. Will we be looking at a tropical depression as it nears Yap, a tropical storm or a typhoon? That remains to be seen on how fast it gets its act together in the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to flip over to the visible satellite imagery just to show you that a little bit of a different perspective. So you see that large cluster as we get the daylight hours cycling through this animation. That's the large cluster of thunderstorms. We're looking at the upper level clouds, the top of the atmosphere. But if you can see deeper down into the lower levels, you see some of those cumulus clouds at the very, just above the surface of the ocean. And that's where we want to look for to see where that low level circulation is. Once we see the low level circulation getting more in sync with the deep convection banding around that low level, that's when we're going to see faster intensification of the system. That's not happening yet. It's still a disorganized and a shared system, meaning it's not stacked vertically the way we want these things to be stacked for intensification. Regardless, people in Europik, Wolii, Ifalik, Searle, Feis, Yap, and Ulithi, they will need to be keeping a very close watch because whatever this thing does develop into the next 24 to 48 hours, they'll be taking the brunt of it in whatever form it will be coming their way. Beyond that, remains open to speculation. As I showed you last week, I'm going to flip over to the models. I don't always like to show the models publicly because that's for the trained meteorologists to determine what's gibberish and what's going to be more realistic in a forecast scenario. So let me see. Here's Guam, CNMI, Yap, and Palau. This is the European model, the ECMWF. This is showing one of the solutions. So we're looking at Friday afternoon right here with the center of circulation, probably a depression or a tropical storm at this point, right between Yap and Palau. But if we flip to the other model, the American model, GFS, shows a much different scenario with a circulation, stronger circulation, just east of Yap, and then it projects it on a northward track, still to our west, but it does pull up a lot more moisture, showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds over Guam and the CNMI on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this paints a wetter picture for the weekend, whereas the other model keeps things pleasant and dry for us across the region. So most likely scenario, we're going to see a blend of these two solutions. We can see an uptick in showers later this week, but the exact forecast is going to hinge closely on whether this thing wants to track west-northwest or more of a northward track. And so that's going to be coming into better alignment Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you go to the slides, Jason, I'll get to our forecast very shortly, and we'll start talking about what to expect in the days to come. So currently, not bad out there. Beautiful sunny skies this morning. We have a moderate risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs. A fire weather watch remains in effect for Guam. We could use those showers later this week. That would squash our dry conditions, at least in the near term. The fire danger remains high and the moderate drought conditions remain in place for Saipan and Tina. Across Micronesia, we do have a special weather statement in effect for Yap and Plow. If you go to our webpage, weather.gov/GUM, you'll see that pink banner indicating that special weather statement text bulletin link. Drought information state remains in effect for extreme drought at Wachiwa, the Marshall Islands, severe drought for Kapinga Maringi, and moderate drought for Kwajalein. The next slide, current conditions, 80 degrees here at the airport right now, and it's going to increase. Another hot, sunny day ahead of us, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies today with a few light showers, east winds about 10 miles per hour. Rainfall has been very minimal, but not far from average for this time of the year at about 1 inch, 1.10 inches for the month. Going to our next slide, this is a Facebook page post. This was updated on Saturday. I or my brother will be updating this page later this morning. And on that note, please join us, U.S. National Weather Service Guam Facebook page at 10 o'clock this morning after your broadcast ends at 10 o'clock. We're going to be going live to discuss the latest with 94W live from the Operations Center of the Weather Service. So join us at 10 o'clock on Facebook for more information. So not much change since Saturday. This is where things are going to develop. This is where things are going to take shape near Yap. And then beyond there, where is it going to go? So currently the Joint Typhoon Warning Center has upgraded this to an area of medium. And what does a medium mean on this 3-tier scale? Well, a designation of medium indicates tropical cyclone development is likely, but not expected to occur within the 24 hours we're currently in. So beyond 24 hours from now, we could see that development into a category of high and then eventually a tropical depression. That's the general status of things as these progress. So the next slide, I'm going to break down these scenarios, the two different model scenarios. One scenario keeps it farther from Guam and tracks it towards the west-northwest, whereas the other scenario keeps it closer to Guam, moving at more of a northward projection. Scenario one that keeps it away from Guam and the CNMI, a dry pattern continues today through much of the end of the week with a slight uptick in showers, perhaps Thursday and Friday. Trade winds will persist through midweek and then weaken by the weekends. Season surf will remain status quo as they are right now, not much change. However, scenario two, this is the more aggressive model forecast with faster development, stronger development, and more of a northward track closer to Guam. It's still expected to pass to our west with the dry pattern continuing today through Wednesday. However, the showers and thunderstorms will increase late Wednesday into Thursday and continue through the end of the week, if not into the weekend. Winds will shift to the southeast, becoming stronger and gusty with hazardous seas and surf likely by Friday. So as I said earlier, we're going to probably see a mixture of these two scenarios. But that's going to come into better alignment come Wednesday once we have more information and that circulation starts to develop in the coming days. The next slide, you notice that purple line on the wave forecast. That is based on the more aggressive models. So it picks up these winds in that particular numerical model, and it really increases our seas later this week. It probably won't be quite that high, but we will see an increase in seas and surf as this thing develops to our southwest. Currently, combined seas are at 3 to 5 feet. That will bump up to about 4 to 6 feet by midweek, predominantly with an east swell. So for the week ahead, today, mostly sunny, isolated showers, winds, east 10 to 15 miles per hour. Keep in mind, we do have a fire weather watch, so do not be burning stuff out there in your yards because that could still set off wildfires that you don't want to be a part of. Combined seas at 3 to 5 feet, winds east at 10 to 15 knots on the waters, and surf 5 to 7 feet along east-facing reefs, moderate rip risk. Midweek, Monday night through Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy, not much change, isolated showers. East to southeast winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour with combined seas about 4 to 6 feet. Thursday and Friday, that's where it gets tricky. Mostly cloudy, scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, perhaps gustier winds at times. And then the weekend, If this thing does track more northward and closer to us, the showery weather could continue through the weekend. So we'll have a much better feel for the end of the week come Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, the last slide, join us live on Facebook today at 10 o'clock as we will discuss the regional weather pattern. I'll probably have my brother, he's the senior forecaster on duty today, and I'll let him do the talking for a change, and I'll take a break. So I get to work the camera, which makes it a lot easier for me. So, and that's all I have. It's a wait and see. And the million-dollar question everybody asks in this time of the year with these situations, will it hit Guam? And that looks very likely not the case. So that's a good news for us, and any effects that we could get would bring much needed rainfall. So we're going to look at the glass is half full side of things right now, but we're going to keep a close watch because it's not in the books yet. And we do have to be concerned and keep a watchful eye on things.
Is that a briefing at Civil Defense or a briefing over at NWS?
No, it's just going to be a NWS thing we're going to
Okay.
do here on Facebook Live.
Okay.
It's a tool that I want to utilize more often in our office to better reach people in the region.
Got it.
Thank you, Landon.
Thanks, Landon.
Thank you both. See you next week.
All right.
See you next week.
Stay dry. 8:35. Let's go to the phones here real quick as the search for Fernando Canlas continues.